Now, if you're drowning in debt, it feels like everyone's trying to sell you a quick fix, a magic bullet that'll make it all vanish. You've all seen the ads. You've heard the promises. Cut your debt in half. Get one low monthly payment. But the brutal truth is, many of these solutions can leave you in a worse spot than when you started. They prey on your hopes, but often deliver a whole lot of heartache. In this video, we're cutting through that noise. We're not selling anything. We're just going to take a balanced, no nonsense look at the 4 main debt relief options: debt management, debt consolidation, debt settlement, and lastly, bankruptcy. My only goal is that by the end of this video, you understand the real world cost, the hidden risk, and the actual benefits of each path. You'll have the unvarnished truth so you can make an informed decision that is right for your life. Now let's get right into it. All right, first up are debt management plans, otherwise known as DMPs. This is usually the path people look into when they feel overwhelmed but not completely buried yet. So here's how it works. A DMP is typically ran by a nonprofit credit counseling agency. The agency goes to bat for you, negotiating with your creditors, mostly credit card companies, to lower your interest rates and waive late fees. You then make one single monthly payment to the credit counseling company and they pay your creditors for you. The whole point is to create a structured repayment plan that you can actually stick to, usually over 3 to 5 years. So, what's the upside? First, it simplifies your life. One payment is easier to track than 10. Second, those lower interest rates can save you a ton of money and help you chip away at the actual debt a lot faster. And since you're paying back everything you owe, successfully completing a DMP can help you rebuild a positive payment history if you make every payment on time. You could even walk away with a better credit score than when you started. But as the title of this video promises, there's a brutal truth here too. While DMPs are often seen as the cleanest option, they have downsides. First, you'll almost always have to close the credit accounts in your plan. Closing accounts can cause temporary dip in your credit score since it lowers your total available credit. Second, nonprofit does not mean free. These agencies charge setup and monthly fees. They're usually modest and offset by the interest savings, but it's a cost. And the biggest risk, if you miss a payment, the whole deal can fall apart. You can get kicked out of the program, losing those sweet negotiating interest rates and landing right back at square one, but with less money and way more frustration. So understand that. So, who is the DMP really for? It's for someone with a steady income who can handle the payments, but is just getting crushed by sky-high interest rate. You want to pay your debt in full, you want to simplify things, and you want to avoid massive credit damage from other options. It's a disciplined path, not a magic carpet ride out of debt. So understand that. Secondly, we're going to talk about debt consolidation. We consider this the refinancing game. This is probably the one you've seen advertised the most. On the surface, it seems like a no-brainer. The idea is simple. You take one big loan to pay off a bunch of smaller debts. This might be a personal loan, a home equity loan, or a balance transfer credit card. You're aiming to wrap all of your high interest debts into a single loan that ideally has a much lower interest rate. You're left with one simpler monthly payment. And you can see the appeal, right? One payment is easier, and a lower interest rate means more of your money attacks the principal. It feels proactive, like you're grabbing the steel wheel and restructuring your finances. Plus, if you make your payments on time, it can be good for your credit in the long run. But here is the brutal truth about consolidation. It's a tool, not a cure. The biggest hurdle is that to get a consolidation loan with a good interest rate, the kind that actually helps, you need a good credit score. To begin with, often 620 or higher. If your credit is already hurting, you might not qualify, or the rate you'll be offered will be just as bad as what you're already paying. Most importantly, consolidation doesn't reduce your debt. It just shuffles it around. It doesn't fix the habits that got you into the debt in the first place. This is the classic trap. People consolidate their cards, feel that wave of relief, and then immediately start racking up new balances on those same now empty credit cards. They're stuck with a new loan and new debt. And if you're using a home equity line, you're turning unsecured debt like credit cards into debt that is secured by your house. If you default, they can take your home. That's a catastrophic risk. That's why my main motto is use your credit cards like debit cards. Only spend what you have in the bank. So, who should consider this? It's best for someone with good credit and the rock solid discipline not to fall back into old habits. You have a steady income and plan to kill the new loan, period. It's a refinancing strategy, not a forgiveness plan. Now, down below, be sure to join my free credit repair community. The only thing we ask you to pay for is credit monitoring using my partnership link. The cost to you is $29.99 a month. And yes, let me be honest with you, I do make a $10 commission, but I give you access to 4 things. So let me explain those things. You get Credit Complete Pro. This is my step-by-step program teaching you how to clean your credit from start to finish, get rid of collections, charge off bankruptcies, late payments, and much, much more. In my private community, I have close to 2,000 people in there. I've had 14 people start credit repair companies from that program. That's how good it is. The second thing you get is Debt Negotiator Pro. Now, a lot of you guys don't know, but I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've owned 2 debt collection companies. I used to sue people, place accounts on people's credit report, as well as buy debt pennies on the dollar. That means I understand the other side. Plus, I'm probably the only person in credit repair now who will tell you sometimes you just might have to pay your debt. And if you have to pay your debt, Debt Negotiator Pro is a program you're gonna need. The third thing that I give you access to is a free one-on-one Zoom call with me. Now we're hopping on the phone. There's no more speculating. I'm looking at your credit. I'm telling you exactly what's wrong with your credit, how to build your credit, and factual disputing during that time span. And then the greatest thing is weekly Q&A calls. Every single Monday, I do a weekly Q&A call where everybody who signed up for credit monitoring that's in my actual private community can jump on. Depending on where you're at in your credit journey, ask as many questions as you want. I stay on that private Zoom call until everyone's question is answered about credit, debt, and even business credit. So, remember, the link is down in my description. Make sure that you sign up, and I hope to see you there. All right, let's get into the most controversial option in the list, which is debt settlement. This is where the promises get huge and the risk gets even bigger. Here's how it works. A for-profit debt settlement company tells you to do something that feels crazy. Stop paying your creditors. Instead, you pay the company a monthly fee that goes into an escrow account. As you're doing this, your accounts are becoming more and more delinquent. Once there's a decent chunk of money saved up, the company calls your creditors and tries to negotiate a deal to pay them just a fraction of what you owe. Let's say 50 cents on the dollar. Let's be honest, the appeal here is singular and powerful. You can end up paying significantly less than what you actually owe. For people buried under a mountain of unsecured debt, this sounds like a miracle. I get it. For the unvarnished, brutal truth, debt settlement is a minefield. First, it will absolutely nuke your credit score. When you stop paying your bills, your creditors report you as delinquent every single month. Those missed payments, followed by settle for less than full amount marks on your credit report, are devastating and stick around for 7 years. Second, there's no guarantee your creditors will even agree to settle. While you're saving up money, your creditors can and often do sue you. I know for a fact because I worked in debt collections, and whenever we had a person come, we can refuse to accept their payment. So understand that's part of it. A settlement company has zero legal power to stop a lawsuit or prevent your wages from being garnished. On top of that, these companies charge massive fees, often a percentage of the debt you enroll or the amount they save you. And here's the kicker most people didn't see coming. The IRS can treat forgiveness debt as taxable income. If a company settles your $10,000 debt for $4,000, that forgiven $6,000 could become part of your income for the year, leaving you with a surplus tax bill. So who is this for? Honestly, it's a high-risk, last-ditch effort for people who are already way behind on payments, have ton of unsecured debt, think about 10,000 plus, and are desperate to avoid bankruptcy. You have to go in with your eyes wide open, knowing your credit will be shattered and you could get sued along the way. Now the last option, and that brings us to the big one. The word most people are terrified of, bankruptcy. It carries a heavy weight, but it's critical to see it as a legal tool, not a personal failure. Bankruptcy is a legal process overseen by federal court. These are the two main types for people. Chapter 7 or liquidation aims to wipe out unsecured debts completely. Usually in a few months, you have to pass a means test to prove your income is low enough to qualify. It might require selling some assets, but most essential things are protected. Chapter 13 or reorganization is for people with higher incomes. You create a court-ordered repayment plan for 3 to 5 years, paying back a portion of your debt. The biggest pro of bankruptcy is its raw power. It grants you legal protection called the automatic stay, which instantly stops all collections. The harassing calls, the letters, the lawsuits, the wage garnishments, they all stop. It can provide a true financial fresh start that no other option can legally guarantee. But that fresh start comes with a cost, and it's a steep one. Bankruptcy is a financial atom bomb for your credit report. A Chapter 7 stays on your report for 10 years, a Chapter 13 for 7 years. It will be very hard and very expensive to get a loan, a mortgage, or even some types of insurance for years. It's also a public record, which for some carries a stigma. And it's not a get out of jail free card for all debt. Student loans, recent taxes, and child support almost always stick with you. So when is bankruptcy right? Or maybe the least awful option? It's the final resort for people with debt so overwhelming they could never repay it. It's for those already facing lawsuits or garnishments. It's a powerful legal tool that offers a definitive end to a crisis. But that fresh start comes with a very high price to your financial reputation. So in closing, I want you guys to understand this. So after all of that, what is the brutal truth about debt relief? It's that there is no magical bullet. Every single one of these paths, management, consolidation, settlement, and bankruptcy, comes with a serious life-threatening trade-off. Debt management requires discipline. Consolidation requires good credit and an iron will. Settlement is a high-stakes gamble that will wreck your credit. And bankruptcy is a legal reset with consequences that last for about a decade. Anyone who promises you a simple, painless fix isn't telling you the whole story. The right choice depends entirely on your specific numbers, your income, your debt, and what you're willing to sacrifice. The goal isn't to just escape debt. It's to build a stable financial future. And that journey starts not with sales pitches, but with an honest, clear-eyed look at where you are right now. I want to thank you guys for watching this. I hope this gives you the clarity you need to move forward. If you have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And like I always state, you be great.